All right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this devil platform with another message. I will say this is a lovely evening in which the Most High Yah has made, and I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. Coming today with again with part 2 on the warning of and on spirit and truth. Why? Because we're in a day in which people are battling what is truth and what is a lie. And it really doesn't make any difference. It really doesn't. It we are in a day where it doesn't matter if you battle or if you have so many different interpretations or different belief, or you believe this one and this one and this one. It doesn't matter. It's all vanity. It's worthless, you guys. Why? Because before the foundation of the world, the beginning and the end was already set. It is what it is, even though no one is willing to teach it in a way that y'all get the glory. His power is recognized. His glory is recognized. His excellence is recognized. His greatness, his perfection is recognized. Nothing is showing the people on this earth who the Creator was, who He is, and who He is going to be. It's very clearly seen in He that is born of the Spirit that there are so many voices in the land, but there's a reason for these voices. And like the Father have said to me in time past, these things need be, Deborah. These things need be. Why? Because the heaven, the kingdom, the throne had orchestrated these things to be. A lot of people have no idea that without the right, there is no left. Without the left, there is no right. Without day, there is no night. Without night, there is no day. Every time I'm out, this is what they do. They bring them out. But that's still okay. That's still okay. I'm going to press on. I got my little friend my son gave me. So I hope you can hear me. But we are in a time period, not a time period. We are in that day that was prophesied by the prophets and the forefathers. You see, even by Yeshua was these days spoken of. But the difference from when they spoke of it in a setting, they give Yah all the glory. They give Yah all the praise. To give Sister Deborah an idea or to give me the fullness that these things is coming, Deborah, and they need be, because the kingdom who holds yesterday, today, and tomorrow, who is the beginning and the end, his throne alone has orchestrated. He will not give you fake of anything if he don't give those that are fake to have to follow them, or else they cannot be what? Fake nothing. And this is something that 99.15 billion wouldn't grip. That important for you to be a fake teacher, you have to be fake toward someone. And how y'all set it up, I'm going to give them something to be fake in the midst of. I'm going to enlarge in hell, and I'm going to have the gate that leads to the broad. I'm going to make sure it is enlarged to those who wants to come in and want to be fake priests. Here's your way. You want to be a fake pastor? Here's your way. You want to be a fake prophet or prophetess? Here's your way. You want to be a fake bishop? Here's the way. You want to be a fake evangelist? Here's the way. You want to be a fake Maureen, a fake seer, a fake watchman. You want to be a fake teacher. Here the way is right here on the left. And guess what? You're going to have a mass of individual following you. Do you think that when he came up with the narrow gate and the broad gate, do you really think the heavens came up with the ideal of something of that nature? You really think he would come up with something like that to make both gates go to the same location, or both gates stands for the same thing, or both gates have the same weight? No. He set the gate that is broad to go the way of those who already he knows that's in the books leading to the lake of fire. See, this stuff was orchestrated from the kingdom. So when I get down here and I begin to see these things and trying to hoop and holler and ask the creator that sits on the throne, they doing this, what is this? What is that? What is this? He has to calm me down and say, Deborah, these things need be, because the kingdom, my throne, has orchestrated them from the level of the heavens down to the earth. So this is the reason why these things need be. That's why I am, I was, I am, and I shall be. And I am the beginning and the end. I am who I say that I am. These things is what I have done from the kingdom. So never take to heart when you see 15 billion living going straight through the broad gate. Because I even designed the narrow so narrow that I've told the whole world, very few shall find the narrow. So the Father is speaking big time to me, and I believe because of the things that is before us, preparing me to get ready to not put emphasis or trying to work in the mindsets and the hearts that are assigned to the broad gate. It's almost like the things that he keep giving me is for a certain people. It's not like it's just for YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Patriot, Twitter. It's not. The message is not for the platforms. It's for the one that get caught on here trying to find the light. And they run up on me, who is speaking spirit and truth, because spirit and truth rest within them. And they search in the light to find spirit and truth. Yah will lead and guide them in the way of the light. Now, part 1 was earlier today on the warning regarding the warning toward or on spirit and truth. It's a warning out. It's to the point where it's only speaking to a people that one, that's in the oneness of him and Yeshua, that's in the oneness of the body of Hamashiach. He has already orchestrated it to not be on the earth as the multitude and the broad gate that would enter back into his bosom. A lot of things have been set. People would say the Bible is inspiration or inspired by Yah, not understanding. Inspiration and inspire, you can use those words, but know that it's only in the flesh as a study guide. He can inspire. It can be loaded as inspiration in the flesh as a study guide, a learning tool. Why? Because he knew that he was coming to be the comforter, the one that's coming to be the teacher. If he would have wanted the Bible to be that and some, then he would have no need for him to come and be the spirit that rests therein as the word. He would allow the Bible to be the word. But because he knew this was inspired to be a learning guide, a study tool, and while you tarry for the true teacher, which is the Holy Spirit. So I'm going to get into this part 2 of on spirit and truth. And I first and foremost, I want to go to Revelation chapter 20. Revelation chapter 20 and verse 12. In Revelation chapter 20 and verse 12, John is also laying some things out. And it reads, "And I saw the dead, small and great." This is John, small and great. What was John seeing? Well, what was he at and what was he beholding? See, no one understands that John truly was in a spiritual realm. We want to teach this thing as a form of something connect to the spirit realm, as to say that it is the word, not understanding. Only one can take you to the spirit realm is the Holy Spirit. And this is why you got a billion different denominations, different belief, different interpreting of one book. Because the true teacher was coming by spirit and by truth. That was the comforter, the Ruach HaKodesh, which the world calls Holy Spirit and Holy Ghost. Okay? So here in Revelation chapter 20, verse 12, "And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before Yah." So we know now he's giving us a little insight of the dead standing, small and great, standing before he that's on the throne. And the books were open. The books were open. Who were those books that was open? First and foremost, these were the books where the dead is listed. Now, these books were created before the foundation of the world. These books were before John. These books was books that is found in the spirit realm with the Father. And these books are books of the dead. So what John was seeing was something that had came forth to a creation in the kingdom, in the bosom of the Father, in the midst of the Father. These books were created then. See, we want to make it to where we can be the greatest deceiver on the face of the earth, because we want to teach people this thing out of the guideline of the earth, heaven, the truth, and the earth creating these books, because we can't digest the fact that these things were before the earth was even created, when those books were formed of the dead. Yes, it's the same as the false prophet, the Antichrist, Satan, the beast. This here is the same place they are listed in these same books. Who else is listed? Those who are walking right now in the broad gate, because they feel that that's the way, because it's more comfortable. It feels good to them. Because if I can see everybody going, I don't feel bad about going through this broad gate, because everybody's going through it. So it can't be bad, but it is. And it's been said. Now, here in Revelation chapter 20, John is talking in verse 12. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before Yah, and the books were open. And another book was open, which is the book of life. We're still on verse 12. And the dead was judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. See, a lot of people don't even understand the way that they are conducting themselves in the flesh is the way their spirit will be judged in the kingdom. When they standing before he that is the creator of all things, they standing before Yah, and it says, the dead were judged out of those things which are written. I want you to understand, when it says written, it means before the foundation of the world. What do you mean, Deborah? Before heaven and earth was created. These things were already written about each and every individual who are in these books of the dead. That's why you're not going to pull the wool over the elect. If it were so, if it were so, if it were, don't mean that it will or that it can. But if it were so, it could fool the very elect. Don't think that he has not schooled his to know the difference between he that is of the flesh and he that is of the spirit, and the action and the works that works with he that is born of the flesh, and the works that works with he that is born of the spirit. If it would so, it would fool the very elect. So here in Revelation chapter 20 and verse 12, it says, which were written, past tense. It's giving you the fullness that heavens had already wrote who's who and what's what. See, you just down here clowning because you ain't got nothing better to do. And you think that same grace and mercy is going to follow you all the way to the throne. It's not. It's not. So he said, were written in the books according to their works. So while you can you can be down here doing your works of the flesh. And we know it's nothing good about that. In case you didn't know that. It's nothing you're going to do in your flesh that's going to be good. This is why he has it already written in the books that leads to the lake of fire according to your own works. Is it your mama's works, your dad's works, your sister and brothers, the Europeans, the Gentiles, Sister Deborah? No, he's not measuring you on others' works. He's measuring you on your own works. Why? But because before Deborah was on your left or on your right, before you was married, before you had children, before you came to this land of your captive, you was already written your eternal destiny. I know it. They're not going to teach and preach that thing. No one ever would ever want to come near what I'm saying. They don't even want to teach what I'm speaking now. Because you know why? It's like a hole they cannot fill. They can't fill it with sand, dirt, rocks, bricks. It's a hole that cannot be filled. Because when the Ruach comes and calls his servants to speak, it's nothing on the earth that's going to cover up anything that he has sent his servants out to speak. Okay? So here you see John showing you or speaking to you about what he saw in the spirit. But the key to it is which were written, and the works of those that's going to the lake of hell, it's already in the kingdom. That's why I say to you, if your action is not being seen on the earth and they're being seen to be work of evil and wicked works that has no fruit of the spirit, no works of the spirit, then you should already know whether if you the terror or the weak, or you born of the flesh, or are you born of the spirit, if you the dark or if you the light, if you the serpent seed or the spiritual seed. You should already know. Y'all should be on this earth. He's not going to be on this earth playing with you. You playing with yourself. It is written. And that's another thing you would never have anyone to preach. They can have, a pastor can have 1 million people, but you will never hear him preach. It is written. Because it takes you from him, which is flesh, and it swings you to the mind of the creator. These why they don't want to speak this, because they are not of him. They want to speak the things in which they can trap you and get you locked in to see and believe that they are something special, or they have it from A to Z, and they teaching you something, but they only teaching you that which your flesh desire. And that's to be deceived and the lies. So then I go to verse 15. We still in Revelation chapter 20 and verse 15. And whosoever was not found written in the Lamb book of life was cast in the lake of fire. Now you see how it says written in the Lamb book of life? You all, this is past tense. It's telling you before heaven and earth was created, you either in the Lamb book of life or you in the book of the dead to the lake of fire. You can't put your will and your way, how you feel about it, your personal opinion, your feelings, your emotions, your interpretation. You can, but it ain't gonna mean nothing but that you are one of the seeds of the flesh, the serpent seed, because you're trying to make right wrong and wrong right. instead of looking within and saying, who am I, Father God? The one wants to ask that question. Because right today, you don't have fruits of the Spirit, nor works of the Spirit. So let's go to Revelation 13 and verse 8. In Revelation chapter 13, verse 8 through 9. In Revelation chapter 13, verse 8 through 9. And all that dwell upon the earth, ooh, there go a mosquito. All that, verse 8, all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him whose names are not written in the Lamb, the in the book of life of the Lamb slain before the foundation of the world. Not only did it say that the Lamb was slain before the foundation of the world, but it also says the names are not written in the Lamb book of life of the Lamb slain before the foundation of the world. Once the Lamb was slain before the foundation of the world, then in the book of life, everybody's name went down. Everybody's name went into the book of life that is under that blood sacrifice of that lamb, even before the lamb came to the earth to shed his blood. This is showing you the power of how the kingdom holds all things. Oh, no, we don't want him with that. We want to place him everywhere except for where he's at and his power. That's why he said denying the power they're in, because something that's so wicked within us that makes us feel so satisfied. If we can deny his power, we can accept our ways, our emotions, our feelings, our wisdom, our knowledge, our understanding, our interpretation. You see? Because we can accept us, but we first have to deny him. Then you'll know who you are and where you stand. Now, just listen to this again. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose name are not written in the book of life. So the ones that's not written in the book of life is going to continue to worship wicked and evil, which is, I'm sure this is talking about the beast. But it's showing you how you are already created to worship the beast. While you sitting here looking for the chip, you sitting here looking for a COVID shot, looking for, well, where's the beast? Which way is coming? What difference does it make? You are already written either in the Lamb book of life or the book of the dead to the lake of fire. And he's saying here, those that are going to worship the beast upon the earth, they're going to worship the beast because their name is not written. Going back to what I was saying to you, when you are the flesh, and when you are the flesh and you're born of the flesh, when you are the serpent seed, when you are of darkness, okay? When you are embedded to come down, you're not embedded. When you are called to come down here like that, you're already in there. That's why a lot of you all can stand up and be Republicans and Democrats and desire the ways of the world and don't see nothing wrong with it. You don't want to have no spiritual works, no fruit of the Spirit, but you want to claim him. You want to name him as if you are written in the Lamb book of life. That's how many people, I would say 15 billion people that will follow this book alone and believe that there is. Now, I know 15 billion, nowhere near that, but I'm just putting them numbers out to just say that's how many, how to me, it's like it's a no end that believes that they're going to fake it on the earth, that they're making it. Oh, no, because you ain't seen nothing yet. This is the day where we all are going to be tried by the fire. And we are. And to me, many are, but they can't see it right now because they got so many materialistic things that's keeping them from seeing the fire of Yah judging them. They can't see it. They can't see it. That's why it need be, Deborah, that the world turn their world inside out. That's why it need famine, earthquakes, wars and rumors of wars, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. They need all that, Deborah. This is the fire that's being tried. They need to be, they bank closed down on them. They need their homes taken from them. They need to be out of food. They need to be in the darkness. Because that's when you'll see who you represent truly. Even though you might call on him. But you best bet he won't show up for you. Because he already know what lane or what book you are in. I was thinking about something the other day that kind of made me real saddened. I was thinking of the fact that I said to the Father, I said, Father, what you're teaching me is really deep because I can imagine all of these little kids, all these young people, the teenagers, all these wives, these women, all these husbands and these brothers and these fathers who have been in a situation where death was looking them eye to eye, where someone was right there finna give them their last second of life. Do you think that these people don't seek Yah or desire him to save them in the situation where there it is, the darkness is right there before them, come to sniff the breath of life out of them? Do you really believe? I'm like saying, Father, boy, that's a hard pill to swallow. To be in a situation where death is looking you dead in your eyes, getting ready to give you or usher you the last second of living. You know what, people? I said to the Father, but many of them, I know many of them be calling on you. I know for a fact many of them. They last words, please, oh God, please, Father, please, oh God. But it took death. It took death to meet them within that second to plead for the higher power. And I said, Father, and you did not show up. What is it these people on this earth not getting? It's not meant for you to get it because your name is already written. But someone like me was trying to feel that thing, and I did. I did, you guys. I felt it even with my own children. I told my oldest son who came back here Sunday, I said, now, I don't care what situation you get in. I don't care what it is. You call on the God. I don't give a rat's behind what y'all know, of course, the name. How are you going to know his name and not know him himself in whom you call on the name? I told my son to call on, this is my oldest son. I told my other two sons this too, though. But this is my oldest. I said, no matter what situation you get in, call on the name of the God that your mother served. Please. But if you all could see their reaction, if you could see how they look at me, and you see how these men look at me and look at me with such a spirit of, okay, mama, assurance that if I call on my mother's God, he's coming. With no doubt, I know that he would. I know that he would. So I'm saying to you all, I got in a situation where I wanted to feel this thing. I wanted to know the feelings of many that has in a seconds and minutes before they died, who were they pleading for? Who were they calling to? And the Father told me, you can actually wrap the majority. Me first, and then mama second. And then pleading for their lives. But he said they call on him every time death is at their it's a second from them, right before them, right in their face. And they getting ready to lose the living, the life. They're calling on him that they never called on. They never knew. But yet they call him. Do you really believe people are losing their lives and that's not their last word? Many of them, even the atheists, would call on a creator in the time, in the seconds and minutes of their death. Death looking them straight in their eyes. Many people do it in the hospital. But do y'all come in on a white horse, riding on in? I'm saying this to say to you today, this is the way y'all use him. This is the way you see him. Oh, if famine and pestilence and the fire is kindled and I'm tried by the fire, all I have to do was call on him. Really? Really? When this prophetess in the wilderness here to tell you, it ain't going to be that smooth for you because he knows you. Your number is already written in the books or in the book of life. So that's why I say all this faking down here on the earth, because everybody else and the multitude will go in the way, no matter if it's all wrong and righteous and evil, as long as everybody else going. And that's how people live in this world. They don't care about what you're saying. Nothing you saying is stirring up their spirit because they so rooted in the darkness that they don't know what it's like to even see a pin needle or light. So here in Revelation chapter 10 and verse 8, and then I'm going to go to 9. And it says, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him whose names are not written. These are those who are going to worship the beast. Why is it saying that they're going to worship? Because heaven knows they're going to. Do you think that Yah is nailing them to be ones that's going to worship the beast? Don't forget, the beast ain't here yet. Y'all already know they already worshiping wicked and evil and darkness. So it won't be nothing for them to worship the beast. What are you talking about? If you are assigned to the books, you are assigned to the books. It ain't cost the beast coming. It ain't cost the false Christ, false Christ or antichrist or the false prophet coming. No, it ain't because they closed your bank account. It ain't because they closed down in 3 days or 4, 5, 6 days of darkness. They close all the stores. You can't get food. You can't get water. Do you really think heaven's going to bend for all of that happening to make sure you sat real good? No, no. Heaven's got you already locked in. And he is not coming to deliver you out of what you walked in all your life and still walking in and finding it joy. You find nothing wrong with the things you're doing, the things you're saying, how you conducting yourself, how you act, how Yah is not speaking to you from the inner man. You don't see nothing wrong with none of it. That's because you're born of the darkness, you guys. So in verse 8 and verse 9, it says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. That ear is a spiritual ear. Everything spiritual is a oneness. Everything spiritual is a oneness. When you see the body of Christ, it's a whole body. We are the saints in the oneness of the body. And Christ being the head, Hamashiach being the head. But we are all in the oneness of the body, which is also the church. We are the saints in there, but we are in it as a oneness. You see? Okay, so let's go now to the Gospel of John, chapter 17, verse 15 through 18. The Gospel of John, chapter 17, verse 15 through 18. Sister Deborah don't think it's nothing on this earth greater than the Most High Yah that sits on the throne, the Creator. I will not and I shall not give no man, no woman, nothing on this earth the glory, the honor, the praise outside of him that sits on the throne. Okay. Now we're in John, the Gospel of John, chapter 17, verse 15 and 18. What is going on here? Let's see. The Gospel of John, chapter 17, verse 15 through 18. And it reads in verse 15, I pray not that thou shouldest take them out of the world, but that thou shouldest keep them from evil. This is what he said. He prayed to who? Wait a minute. Why are you praying? I thought you was Yah. You see? But if you are Yah, why are you praying? In verse 15, I pray not that thou shouldest keep them out of the world. I pray not that thou shalt keep them out of the world, but that thou should keep them from evil. Why couldn't Yeshua do that? Because you messed up from the floor up. Don't mean Yeshua was messed up from the floor up. That's why I said he did an excellent job, you guys. He did a perfect, excellent job. Because he set an example right here. I played, and he said, I pray not that thou should take them out of the world. Meaning, don't take them out of the world, mean death right now. This is what he said. But he said, but that thou should keep them from evil. He's talking to the Father, you guys. He's talking to the Father. And what kind of is very crazy to me, how is it he has clearly spoken in the instructions and direction book that the Father and him, he's showing us how to walk in the way of the Father by also separating himself from the Father, but yet put himself back with him as one. How could all these churches that leads these multitude of people, all these people on YouTube, Facebook, how could the world say that this book is the word, but cannot see the Son of Man separating himself from his own Father? He's speaking to the Father. And then he said in verse 16, they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. When did they become not of the world? In the kingdom. They became not of the world from the kingdom, not from the earth. Okay? So he said they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. Now, how did Yeshua know that? Because he said, all that thou hast given me, I have not lost one. Heavens had already wrote them down to be the disciples. Even the one that betrayed him was already written in the book. He's written in the books. And the other 11 was written in the Lamb book of life. How do you know? Because when Peter came upon Yeshua and was being nosy, asked him, what was that about? The betrayer. Yeshua said to Peter, it would have been better that he not even been born. Because many of you all don't understand. Your birth locked you in to the eternal kingdom in which you shall spend eternal. And that could be the Lamb book of life or the books to the lake of fire. The moment you're born, does it matter if you're 2, 3 years old? No. Revelation 20 told you, young and old. Small and great. That's what the small represent. You see? A lot of people thinking because you're a baby, you're going back to the kingdom. No. When you have to have that breath of life in you, when you are born, say for you live 2 or 3 days, not even that long, you're sealed already in one of those books for eternal. Do y'all understand that? You're already sealed for eternal. And he said, this here is written already before you get to the earth. All destinies, everyone that come into the world, they leave out already having their, how would I say it, their stamp for the lake of fire or the Lamb book of life. Okay. So he says in verse 16, we in the Gospel of John 17 and verse 16, they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. See, he's taking you to the spirit, you guys. He's taking you to the spirit realm. He knew that they weren't of the world. They weren't born of the flesh. Yeshua knew it. And he's telling you. Verse 16, they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. We are not from here. We're not born of the flesh. We are the ones that's born of the spirit, is what he's saying. Now watch this here, verse 17. Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. Sanctify them. Let me see if that's the right. Oh, yeah. He says, sanctify them through thy truth. He's telling the Father, sanctify them, set them aside. Set them aside. Thy truth. Sanctify them through thy truth. Set them aside for your truth. We in 17. Thy word is truth. So you're thinking he said set them aside for this book? This book is not the word. Truth is the word itself. Because Yah is spirit and truth. What I've learned is it is his will that people do not go past a certain line. Because I can see it. They don't go, because I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, you mean that many people is going to the lake of hell? Yes, that many. That's why it's made up of books with an S and not a book to the lake of fire. That's just showing you. So verse 18, it says, as thou hast sent me into the world, even so I have sent them into the world. And what he mean is, you remember he sent them and told them to go minister and to lay hands and to do these things. He was saying that the Father, you sent me and I sent them into the world. Okay. So right then, many of you all have no idea that Yah has his handpicked. That's why you won't support the ones that handpick. You never will. You never, ever, ever, ever will. And it's okay. This is what he means. This need be, Deborah. This got to be this way. So stop trying to make people holy than thou. Stop trying to pit people where they should not be. Now, I like that because Yeshua was throwing down on his disciples, saying to the Father, let them not be, take them not out of the world, but just let them not be in the world of evil. That's what he's saying. And I think that's beautiful for Yeshua to put that before the Most High like that. Now, let's go to Exodus. Exodus 32. Exodus chapter 32 and verse 31 through 33. Exodus chapter 32 and verse 31 through 33. And it reads, and Moses returned unto Yah and said, oh, this people have sinned a great sin. See, that's what bothers me. Everybody wants to be set up to do wrong and to be the opposite of what spirit is. They want to live in the world. They want to be a part of the world. They want to be, they don't have no problem being born of the flesh. They don't have no problem being the serpent seed. And everybody want them to go to the kingdom for eternal in the book of life. Look what Moses said. Exodus chapter 32 and verse 31. Okay, and it reads, and Moses returned unto Yah and said, oh, this people have sinned a great sin. Look at the word great. Why would you go to the Father like that and tell him what they have done so great as if he has not seen it all? Okay, but listen to what he said. And have made them gods of gold. Now here is Moses already seeing that they did everything against the Father. But did he care? It didn't mean nothing to him. That's how it is today. This is identical to the way that it is today. I'm seeing back watching all this stuff go on and seem like one is don't care about the other. And they the same family, same tribe, same Israel. But they want the world to see them to be something special. And their own nation wants to do wrong, and the nation is okay in their wrongdoing, their wrong thinking, their wrongdoing. They support the wrong. They killing up their communities. They taking the drugs and everything into their community, killing up families. They don't see nothing Israel and Judah is doing. That's what Moses was doing. He's going to first confront the Father about how great of a sin that they are doing. And then he said, not only that, they made gods of gold. They didn't left Yah. I, as a prophetess today, see that with a clear eye in the natural and in the spiritual. It's plainly seen. But yet somewhere in me be like, how could they not see they people, but want the world to see you as an angel? How is it you want them to treat you a certain way when you don't even know how to treat yourself and others in your own tribe and in your own nation? How could we expect so much from the Most High, y'all, and from a world that ain't gonna give your tail cry, but you want so much from them? You bow down to them. You suck on them. You do everything you can to please that which will never see you to be nothing but what you came over here to be. But you will be evil toward Yah. Even to the point of where all these Judah are coming up with this new thing about these other gods. And they're saying, being so, these other gods, they found out that been present. And it has some connection to do with Africa and Egypt. And say that it was there 10, 20, 30,000 years. And this is what they're doing. They have no longer accept the God of the creation. He that sits on the throne. They say he don't exist because these other gods, and you got many of our black men following those things. Those. So what I'm saying to you here in Exodus, now this is going way back to Torah. Their mindset was like this. So how dare you come to this land in which was prophesied to Abraham that it was going to be, and try to get them to change the name that they called the Messiah, to try to change the picture in which they lied, it ain't saying that they lied. Y'all didn't give them the fullness of righteousness. So they got to claim and name it what they want to name, because ain't no good in the midst of them. But we come over here trying to tame them and school them. When and where do you see that written? It's nowhere written because heaven didn't write it up like that. That you're going to come from Africa, which you won't give them no fault in nothing. You're going to come from your scattered all over the place, but yet you come to the land in which was said that this is what he was going to send you for the curse of Deuteronomy 28 on the four corners, and you're trying to school them. You see the sickness that's in Judah? You're trying to make them see who you are when they knew who you are, but you ain't done nothing to prove you anything worse than the opposite of what you should be, outside the opposite of what you should be. But you want to put your name on such a perfect and excellent and such all power, Yah. You feel you should be detached to him, but shows nothing about you represent him, none whatsoever. Everything you're doing is what caused you to lose your promised land once before. It's the same thing you're doing right now. So this is the time where he has separated the wheat from the tare. He has sealed, he is in the forehead, and the judgment is at hand. And the fire you will and you shall be tried by. So he says here in Exodus, now listen to Moses. He's going before the Most High. Verse 32. Yet now, if thou wilt forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, I pray thee, out of thy book, which thou hast written. See, there go Moses. Moses had enough sense to know that there is a book that is written. So if Satan knows it's a book, the Messiah knows it's a book, the disciples knows it's a book, Sister Deborah knows that it's a book, then what the rest behind is this? For all is written. This is what is written. Is what is in heaven. That's what people don't understand. It's written already, where it's not going to come back void because it was written in the kingdom. So this is what Moses said. Block me out. And if not, telling the Father, if you don't forgive them, block me out. Why would you say something like that to the Creator that you've been going on the mountain to commune with? And then I pray thee out of the book which thou hast written. So there go Moses. Moses is full aware that there's a book that is written. Now watch this, verse 33. And Yah said unto Moses, whosoever have sinned against me, him will I blot out of my book. Now, when I see that, I don't think Yah told him, in a sense, that he's going to blot somebody out of a book that's already written. You see? But he wanted to, I think he was telling Moses, in a sense, that you cannot be blotted out of my book if you're already written in. And he will, and he said, and him will I blot out, whosoever sinned against me, which we know a lot of us have sinned. So therefore, it couldn't be talking about he's going back to the book of life and blotting somebody out. He's actually, Moses have no idea that it is written to the point where it is written. It's not something I'm going to go in and blot you out of because I won't forgive them. Moses was trying to control Yah. He wasn't trying to control the people. Why are you up on this mountain telling Yah all the sins and wicked and evil they doing, but on this mountain, on this mountain, trying to control Yah? If he don't forgive them for all the sin, how many times have he forgiven them and keep forgiving them? And this is why I say that this is a very powerful journey, you guys, because I keep looking at it and it's just none of it seems to even make any sense of how of people don't have nothing in them to feel this creator, to know his power, to know who he is. It's like they running a worldly mission. And it is. That's why the broad gate is so broad. It's so wide. Now let's go to Ephesians. Ephesians chapter 1 and verse 4 through 5. So what I'm trying to say this here is we are making room for everybody, just like Moses just did, making room for the world. We are justified and trying to identify their sin as something that y'all should forgive and overlook. I see that today. I mean, in great numbers. That's just why they won't give the people the light. They'll show them the way to spirit and truth because they don't have the way. And y'all make sure that they cannot find the way. So when you go to Ephesians chapter 1, verse 4 and 5, in Ephesians chapter 1 and verse 4 and 5, it reads, 4, according as he has chosen us in him before the foundation of the world. See, we trying to make y'all make a choice on the way we're conducting ourselves today, which is just a higher level of evil and wicked. Because we ain't saying we're going to stop, we're going to turn, we're going to repent, we're going to get right. We're wanting him to ignore what we're doing and just let us be who we want to be, what we want to be. And he is letting us do that. But heaven's already got you locked in where you're going to have eternal. See, that's what everybody don't understand. Where heaven has you in, locked in, is eternal. People ain't worried about eternal in this day and time. They're not worried about eternal this day. So this is why he has to come in with earthquakes, famine, and different disease, and nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. All these things need to come to where people can hoop and holler for him and he hear them out. And they have no idea that's exactly how it's going to turn out. So when Sister Deborah is saying to you all, just wait a minute. He's coming. I'm not saying that he's coming next week, the next day. He's here already with the judgment. It's just each level of how he's going to try each and every last one of us by the fire. Many people are already been through the fire and going through the fire. They're just trying to figure out, wait a minute, where are we at? We in the end days. So many bad things happening, you see. But they only recognize that when it's applied to them. Now, Ephesians chapter 1 and verse 4, according as he has chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in giving yea. Holy. Because he already have chosen us, y'all. He has already chosen us. Verse 5, having predestined us, here we go again, until the adoption of the children of Yeshua HaMashiach to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. This is how the Father has ushered us in already. Those that are of the spiritual. And we have no idea it's about the spiritual realm he's bringing us through. It is not about the flesh. This is why people don't want to let go the ways and the heart and the mindset of their flesh, because they thinking they're going to be able to take that on in. Oh, he's going to accept that. Like Moses went to him. Forgive them. They doing great sin. Or they doing great sin. They even got their own God. But yet you sitting here telling him, and if you don't forgive them, then block me out. It's a lot of things Moses did that might cause him to not be in that book come that day. You know why? Go to Matthew chapter 1. All of those ones that's listed are the spiritual seed. And you cannot and will not find Moses. That's why he says, coming down the bloodline of David, Abraham, Isaac. All of them are listed, the spiritual seed. But Moses cannot be found in there, because another thing that we don't accept, that Yah confronted Moses, that the reason why you're not going to make it is because your disbelief. Why go that journey and get like this? The people that you hang around, the people that you are around, the people that you listen to, the people you're trying to preach to and guide, they will cause you to go in the way that they too are going in. Look how Moses went to the Father and confront him, because they were sinning greatly, and because they was worshiping other gods. Then turn to the Father. But you better forgive them. If not, write me out of the book. Bro, you didn't even understand. You were already written out because you wasn't written in. See, y'all use whatever he wants and whomever he chooses. But he do it from the level of the wilderness, not from the level of the earth. Okay? So here I like this, because it's letting you know that Yah has chosen before the foundation of the world and predestined. He is. So when was that? Before heaven and earth was created. See, that's a place that nobody wants to go to, because if they have to go there, then therefore a lot of things that they have taught people throughout time will cause them to appear to be error. And they don't want to go back to clean up their error. And I noticed that. These people on this devil platform will not go back to righteous, regardless of whatever. They will not turn to the right side. I sit back and I watch it. Instead, they will come after the one that's speaking righteous, just to make them feel good that they've been on this devil platform all these years and never was able to teach these people spirit and truth. They don't care anymore, because if the people going to settle for trash, well, shoot, I'm going to keep on teaching them that, because they are born of the flesh. They are born as the serpent seed, and they're born for the darkness. Okay, that's why they ain't going to stop. Okay, so when I get to, let me see what time up. When I get to 1 Peter and verse 1, chapter 1, when I get to 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 19 through 21, 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 19 through 21. But with the precious blood of Christ, you see Christ? The precious blood of Christ, okay, is showing you how the blood was spilled by the power. That's the only way. These people bring these dogs out every time they see me, and they brought them out already. But their dogs are so dumb, can't smell, can't see, can't hear. So it says here, 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 19. But with the precious blood of Christ as a lamb. Look at that lamb. You see, it's lowercase. Without blemish and without spot. You notice the lamb is lowercase. Without blemish or without spot. Verse 20. Verse 20. Who verily was foreordained before the foundation of the world, but was manifest in these last times for you, who by him do believe in Yah, that raised him up from the dead, who by him do believe in Yah, that raised him from the dead. Listen to how he said, something raised him from the dead. That was Yah, which is Christ. Okay? Who by him do believe in Yah, that raised him up from the dead and gave him glory, that your faith and hope might be in Yah. See, that's what I was telling y'all. everybody put a lot of emphasis on everything except for Yah, not even understanding Yeshua whole ideal those 30 some odd years is to keep instilling into you all that there is a Yah, a creator. He's the Father. He's all power. He's all word. He's the Spirit. He kept saying it over and over in verse 21, 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 21, who by him do believe in Yah, that raised him up from the dead and gave him glory, that your faith and hope might be in Yah. All the whole mission of Yeshua was for even you. The 30 some odd years, he could have shed his blood in one day, but it's the years that he spent trying to get us to see the Father. And we missed it. Here we are in the year 2024, and they cannot separate the Father from the Son. So I like that. But the thing about it in verse 20, he says, whose verily was foreordained before the foundation of the world, but was manifest in the last times for you. It's showing you again. Heaven had all this stuff orchestrated. So while we are trying to make it about what's going on today, politics, sex, white people, Europeans, Gentiles, Judah against Judah, Israel against Israel, Judah women against Judah men against Judah women. We are so far from the line that says stay on the line that leads to the narrow way. No one wants to even come anywhere near that. It's not in them, but it started from the kingdom. It's not meant for. And it makes more and more sense every time I wake up and I get into this. All of it makes sense why it is the way that it is. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 4. In Isaiah chapter 4. In Isaiah chapter 4, it's talking about something we covered all the time, but I want you to see 3 and 4. Isaiah chapter 4, verse 3 and 4. And it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion and he that remaineth in Jerusalem shall be called holy. Now, see, he's telling you that those that are going to be left after Israel and Judah destroy, Israel and Jerusalem is destroyed like they're doing now, there's going to be some that's going to be left, listen to this, in Israel and in Judah shall be left, verse 3, and it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion and he that is remaineth in Jerusalem shall be called holy, even everyone that is written among the living in Jerusalem. Written. That means before the foundation of the world, they were written. Yeshua constantly told Satan, it is written. And Satan turned around and told told Yeshua, it is written. They know fully that all things is written. But did it stop Yeshua's mission? Did it stop Satan's mission? No, it can't. They already written. It's already written. It's nothing Yeshua can come down here to do outside of what is already written. It's nothing Satan can come down here to do outside of what is already written. Only thing about it is we as people then gave him so much power, and he's trying to figure out how did he gain it. Verse 4. When Yah shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion. That's what he was doing to us. And shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. That's that burning that he said he's going to deal with the daughters and they're going to have burning in their scalp. And he's also said, also by the spirit of judgment. So when the women get over to Jerusalem, they're going to see that we have less men. But the men are going, they're going to see their name is going to be holy. The daughter's going to get over there and realize that, wait a minute, we got less men over here. I want to gain that name that they have gained, which is holy. And they are going to gain. It tells you right here in Isaiah chapter 4 and 3 and 4. When the verse 4, when the Lord, when Yah shall have washed away the filth of the daughter of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. And verse 3, it says, and it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion and he that remaineth in Jerusalem shall be called holy. That's the name that the women were wanting to be called, to take away their reproach. So it's a sad thing how we can take what is simple and make it the way of the flesh, because we don't want to see it in the way of the spirit. So we want to make it so we can teach it in the way of the flesh, because the way of the flesh won't show you the route of the spirit. And what everything I'm saying to you is telling you how heavens, which is the spirit realm, orchestrated it on the earth. So the last verse is Hebrew chapter 12, verse 22 and 23. Hebrew chapter 12, verse 22 and 23. And after this, I'm going to give a 5-minute time in case you have any question. In Hebrew chapter 12 and verse 22 and 23, it reads, by faith, Joseph, when he had, now is that right? Oh, no, I'm wrong page. 12, 22, and 23. And it reads, Hebrew chapter 12, verse 22 and 23. But ye are come unto Mount Zion and unto the city of the living Yah, the heavenly Jerusalem, and to the innumerable company of angels. Also, it's going, okay, that many, okay, unnumberable account company of angels, to the general assembly and church of the firstborn which are written in heaven. The firstborn of those that are already written in heavens, and to Yah, the judge of all, and to the spirits of just men made perfect. Where was this orchestrated? What did it tell you? The firstborn which are written in heaven. See, what has happened is we have forsaken the spiritual route to accept the ways of the flesh, because it seems to be more suitable for us. So we want to walk therein in that which is flesh, because we don't think, not, it ain't that we don't think, the feeling is different. And we don't want to see anything that leads us to those things that are spiritual, because who we portray to be is really not in us. Because if you are who you are, you would know who you are. And I think many people have no idea. And they're not out here to find out. They are enjoying this living in their flesh to the utmost, to where they could give a care about who they are in the flesh or who they are in the spirit. And just like people say, you're not supposed to say your position as a prophet or a prophetess. You just are supposed to say Nothing. That's what they say. You're not supposed. That shows you these are people are afraid, because they're afraid that the true prophetess and the true prophets might be out there. So the way that they do away with them is make sure they labor all of them and make everybody look for the false prophets and the false prophetess. So therefore they would have no trust in what Yah has sent. But I see that the Father was teaching me all that I'm giving you all. He was teaching me that this morning. And it's amazing when he's teaching me the feeling that is within me. It's so much joy and peace and so much understanding in what he's saying to me in the inside. He's teaching me from the spiritual level. And it feels totally different. But when I get on here and I begin to teach it, I feel like I'm talking and speaking to a brick wall. But the Father said, but Deborah, don't forget, these things need be. People are not who you think they are, or who not so much as you think that they are. The way you feel that they should be, in the way that they should be seeking him, the Most High Yah, in the way of the spirit realm versus the way of the flesh. Now, do anyone have any questions? I appreciate each and every last one of you all in the live chat. Anybody have any questions? If you have any questions, this is the time before Sister Deborah end this video. Okay? I hope each and every last one of you all received something out of this. And it was and is a warning on the spiritual food. Is that something? The difference is people want titles that draw the flesh. Mm-hmm. They want you to talk about things that is suitable for them in their flesh. When you start talking, he say, she say, and the things that is so detached in the way everybody want to do things according to the world, oh, you get a lot of people. You get many people coming and pulling up and got something to say and show up and show out. But outside of that, there is none whatsoever. But this is also, it identify who's who and what's what. That's why he constantly telling me, you know who's who, Deborah, you know, and, you know, to the point where you don't even have to say to me who's who or what's what, you know. And that's all that's important is in me, in my spirit, is to know who's who and what's what. So I, Sister Deborah, again, appreciate each and every last one of you all tuning in, and I will be back. I appreciate everybody in the live chat. Shalom and shalom.